after our groundbreaking event on this land. We are so proud and grateful to be hosting today's ribbon-cutting event, commemorating completion of our state-of-the-art wastewater treatment plant that will serve Fort Pierce for generations. My name is Rachel Tennant, and I am the Director of Public Affairs and Sustainability for Fort Pierce Utilities Authority. I have the daily honor of helping to tell our story and to lead our fundraising efforts for projects like this with grants and appropriations. 3 years ago, I stood here planting seeds about our fundraising needs for a singular relocation project. Today, I stand here with immense gratitude for the $75 million that we've been able to raise so far from state and federal agencies and representatives for what we now describe as phases 1 and 2. This morning, we celebrate completion of phase 1. But this afternoon, our engineering teams will be back at work on phase 2, redirecting our sewer flows to reach this plant instead of the old one. Right now, I am honored to serve as your MC and tour guide for today's ribbon-cutting program. We have a full schedule of speakers who join us to share their support for this monumental project. We'll hear from FPUA staff and leadership, our Citizens Advisory Committee, and elected officials from all levels who've been working toward this very moment for over 20 years. Our team is so proud to be doing this for you and our community, and I'm proud to be your MC today.
So I'd also like to say good morning and a big thanks to everyone for taking the time to attend our ribbon-cutting event today. I'd also like to extend my thanks to an Emmy-worthy list of people that have supported this project, from the boots on the ground to the highest levels of elected office. I grew up a typical Fort Pierce, barefooted river rat with a fishing pole in my hand. I'm sure you've seen my people. Many of them are on bicycles. I was in the river almost every day, swimming, fishing, or paddling around in my canoe. It was a favorite part of my childhood. I'd push up shrimp from the grass flats for bait. Back then, those grass flats were thick, and they were incubators for every kind of baby river creatures you can imagine. Little fish, shrimp, seahorses, crabs, there were even little stingrays about the size of a quarter. Then, in the late 80s, there was a heavy runoff event that flooded the river with an especially potent herbicide that killed off most of the seagrass and, of course, most of those baby river creatures with it. The river recovered, but it's never been the same. Now, as populations have grown, our river faces a similar threat with our human waste. Our existing wastewater treatment plant is in a vulnerable location on South Beach. Significant portions of our community are still on ancient, leaky septic systems, and miles of our sewer pipes are over 100 years old and made of clay. Today, I'm proud to be part of a team that is pushing hard for the solution. Congressman Mass said at a Farm City barbecue a few years back, "Do something bigger than yourself." This team is doing exactly that with several bold wastewater collection and treatment initiatives. This ribbon-cutting ceremony today marks the first of 5 initiatives to save our river by commissioning this state-of-the-art water reclamation facility, water reclamation and reuse facility. This plant uses a European technology that is the most efficient process in use today and is being adopted all over the country, with our plant as a model for speed and success. Senator Grohl, you'll also be happy to know that we used a bare minimum amount of Chinese crap in the making of this plant. The other important part of making this plant operational is the rerouting of the wastewater flows from the old plant to here. We are well underway in completing 17 individual projects over the next few years and then finally decommissioning the old plant. Second is our aggressive water and wastewater expansion program that has already reached 23 neighborhoods and has reached a self-funded status to keep the program going until we have brought safe, reliable water and wastewater service to every home in our community. Third is our sewer lining program to seal the old clay pipes with a technology that is 1/10 the cost of conventional replacement. Fourth, we are aggressively pursuing technology to eliminate the conventional disposal of biosolids with another European technology that will produce a biochar that can safely be used by the concrete industry and as a soil amendment. We will also build enough excess capacity to help our neighboring utilities conquer this problem as well. Last, we are planting 5 acres of seagrass in addition to the 1.4 acres that Ms. Tennant already planted during her tenure at the Manatee Center to leave our site better than we found it. For the rest of the program, you'll hear from the voices of the project, some elected officials, and some of our strongest supporters. One final thought to leave you with. Fear is the enemy of innovation. Put aside fear and make success the only acceptable outcome. Commit to doing whatever it takes to complete the mission, and you can accomplish anything. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Tennant. I appreciate that. I just want to first thank you all so much for joining us today as we celebrate the ribbon cutting of our new water reclamation and reuse facility. This facility represents FPUA's largest capital project to date, and its completion is the culmination of decades of hard work, dedication, and patience. And I'd like to add some courage as well. We are excited to celebrate the fruits of this labor today and showcase how this new facility will modernize our utility, protect our local environment, and deliver new opportunities for both FPUA and the city of Fort Pierce. In addition to my role of running the day-to-day operations of the Island WRF, I have been given the unique role of managing the WRRF's design and construction over the past 4 years. I truly appreciate the confidence and trust that Mr. Hutchinson and Mr. Cisneros have placed in me, placing me in the opportunity to have a real impact on FPUA's story and legacy. I also want to take a quick moment to thank my water reclamation staff back at the Island plant, who have done a terrific job of picking up any slack while I've been pulled in these 2 directions over these past few years. I really appreciate their hard work and commitment to excellence while we shift gears and transition from the old plant to the new. If you attended and remember the groundbreaking ceremony back in February of 2023, you'll recall that the site behind us here was freshly cleared, raw, and barren. The rest of 2023 was then spent on all that underground civil site work, storm drain infrastructure, land grading, all that semi-boring stuff that really doesn't make a big impact above ground. There's so much to show off here that can be seen above us, above the ground, but it's truly remarkable how much is really below our feet today. As a greenfield project site, which means there was nothing here before, a whole new spaghetti of sorts of new electrical, plumbing, and force main process lines had to be installed underground to support everything that we see above grade today. The WRRF was designed with the future in mind, utilizing state-of-the-art treatment technologies and equipment that will allow our operations staff to create a much higher quality reuse final product than the old Island plant is currently capable of. We are excited to utilize this reuse quality treated water for a variety of sustainable applications that will benefit the community and the local environment. Most notably, our treated effluent will be used to provide blowdown source water for our neighboring Treasure Coast Energy Center's cooling tower process while they generate energy, representing what we hope is the first of many sustainable partnerships to come. I'd like to acknowledge and thank our joint venture contract partners who've actually been here from the beginning to build this plant. Global Tech and Haskell created a joint venture enterprise to actually put this plant together, and I've worked with Hazen and Sawyer, the engineering firm, from the beginning to design and construct this facility we see today behind us. I have worked closely with these firms over these past 4 years, collaborating with the various project managers every day to solve any problems that came our way. I have learned so much from the build team throughout this process, and I truly appreciate their dedication through all those early morning concrete pours, late nights, weather delays, and weekend shifts that helped keep this project on budget and on schedule. And I do want to make a special note of the construction engineer on site, Joe Franco. He is actually leaving us as of today. He is retiring, and he's going to be on mountain time as of next week. So we want to take a moment to really appreciate his contribution to this project. He's taught me personally a lot about construction management. So thank you, Joe. I've also been privileged to meet and engage with many different members of our community thanks to the project. Many of you are here today. Through plant tours and other public engagement efforts, I have been able to use this FaceTime to educate visiting officials and other stakeholders about the new plant's technologies and benefits, while also learning directly from them about their concerns and the impact on our community. We're not done. This aqua narita treatment technology that represents the soul of this plant is becoming increasingly popular across the U.S. and internationally. So we expect to be hosting many visitors and plant tours from visiting delegates from municipal managers for years to come here. Now, I have been with FPUA, and specifically water reclamation, for over 19 years, spending almost all of my career working at the Island plant as a mechanic, operator, and now a supervisor. My old superintendent, the late, great Larry Benning, was actually part of the Well Points crew that worked on the IWRF back in 1985 during its large capacity expansion project. After that construction was complete, Larry was actually able to obtain a job at FPUA as a plant mechanic, working at the same Island plant that he had a role in helping to build. This gave him a unique and intimate perspective and referential confidence as he worked his way up the ladder through operator, manager, supervisor, and superintendent roles before he retired about 10 years ago. Larry knew where the bodies were buried, so to speak, and he knew that plant intimately. So I learned a lot under his tutelage. Luckily, history seems to be repeating itself, and I feel privileged to have been given the same type of influential role during the design, construction, and daily management of this project. I know this will give me and my staff the same intimate knowledge that Larry had that will help us operate and optimize this facility for years to come. Thank you.
It's my privilege to represent the Global Tech Haskell joint venture, our lead design partner Hazen, and the countless individuals that came together to design and construct this facility. A little less than 3 years ago, we stood here in front of a blank canvas, which would ultimately become the Mainland Water Reclamation and Reuse Facility. And a lot has happened since then. So what does it take to construct a facility like this? I'm a bit of a numbers guy, and this project has a lot of them. But a few of those numbers are 350,000 craft labor hours with no lost time safety incidents, 12,000 cubic yards of concrete placed, 2.8 million pounds of reinforcing steel installed, 3,500 feet of piping that you can see, and 15,000 feet that you can't. Over 190 miles of electrical wiring, $1.8 million in sales tax savings realized through the Owner Direct Purchase Program, and 1 retirement. Ultimately, this facility will produce 3 million gallons of reclaimed water, turning waste into an asset. We couldn't have accomplished all of this without the dedication of our contract partners, many of which are here with us today. I'm incredibly proud to say that we have contracted $40 million to local businesses, which represents 80% of our subcontracted scopes. I also couldn't stand before you today without acknowledging our partnership with FPUA. The staff at FPUA is truly incredible. Their vision and determination to execute that vision on this project was apparent throughout. The decision to relocate the wastewater operations from the island to this facility demonstrates environmental stewardship and will create resilient and sustainable infrastructure for decades to come. It has been an honor and one of the highlights of my career to be a part of such a transformational project to the community. At Haskell, we pride ourselves on creating things that matter, and this project truly matters. And I can't wait to see the positive impact this facility will have on the area. It's been a pleasure to work on this project for the past 4+ years, and we look forward to supporting FPUA in this community for years to come. Thank you.
Good morning to FPUA leadership, our elected officials, distinguished guests, members of the community, the project team, and all others in attendance today. It is a privilege to stand before you today and be part of this once-in-a-career milestone as we celebrate the commissioning of this state-of-the-art water reclamation and reuse facility. This moment represents a significant milestone for the city of Fort Pierce, one that reflects years of planning, collaboration, and a shared commitment to public service. While this facility stands as a remarkable achievement in engineering and environmental stewardship, Its success is the result of many teams working together across FPUA. The conveyance system is one essential part of that coordinated effort, and it plays an essential role in both the successful commissioning of this new facility and the planned decommissioning of the Island Water Reclamation Facility. The conveyance system is the network that ensures wastewater reaches this facility safely and efficiently, including the pipelines, the lift stations, the infrastructure upgrades that makes today's commissioning possible. The conveyance upgrades, treatment improvements, operational planning, and construction efforts all function as interconnected pieces of a larger vision, each supporting each other to make this transition possible. This is where my team, the conveyance team, members of which are standing behind me this morning, thank you guys, plays our role. Our responsibility is to ensure that this system delivers flows reliably so that facility can perform the work it was designed to do. To support this transition, we are implementing a comprehensive program of which improvements across the wastewater conveyance network. This includes the construction of new infrastructure, the rehabilitation and expansion of existing assets, and strategic increases in system capacity. These efforts require meticulous planning, a deep understanding of the existing system, and close collaboration across multiple disciplines. The overall program organized into 3 major phases and 17 capital improvement projects incrementally redirect flows to this facility and expand capacity for wet weather and future growth, and ultimately for the full decommissioning of the Island Water Reclamation Facility. I extend my sincere appreciation to FPUA leadership for their vision and guidance, and particularly to Mr. Cisneros and Mr. Hutchinson for the confidence they have placed in our team. I wish to also acknowledge the contribution of the Grants Department, Finance, Wastewater Operations, Water Wastewater Engineering staff, and all the internal departments who's played a significant role in this process. A special note of gratitude is owed to our external partners, TLC Diversified, and they are our design builder for this project, Kimley Horn and Associates, our design engineer, Felix Construction, and the many suppliers and subcontractors who have supported this effort with professionalism and expertise. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. We look forward to continuing our work together as we bring this entire program to completion. Thank you all for being here. It's an honor to contribute to this transformative project, and my team and I look forward to continuing this work through to full completion. And I couldn't leave the stage today without acknowledging Mr. Dave Millard in the crowd. Dave hired me back in the day, gave me an opportunity. And Dave, thank you, sir.
We're a group of volunteer residents appointed to represent the customers, not to manage the projects or design facilities, but to keep communication moving to both directions between the utility and the community. Today with me are Mr. Lynch. He is on our board. And I also like to recognize Rachel, Leslie, and Crystal, and a few others that help us out on this committee. And today is absolutely worth celebrating. Utilities don't always have a reputation of inviting conversation. What the difference here is that Fort Pierce Utility Authority chooses to do exactly that. By creating and supporting the UAC, FPUA made a deliberate decision to listen, to explain, and to stay engaged with its customers, especially especially during projects that are complex, expensive, and long-term. This massive project is the perfect example. It required foresight, persistence, and trust built over many years. The UAC role has been to help translate what's happening, make space for questions, and ensure the community stay informed, not just today, but throughout the process. When we supported grant applications for this project, we were able to state with confidence that the utility has done the work of engagement and that the community stands behind it. That says a lot about this organization and the people behind it. We're proud to have played a small part, and we're excited to continue that partnership as this facility serves Fort Pierce for decades to come. Congratulations and thank you.
It is truly warm and exciting to see so many familiar faces here today. It is really a big day for the FPUA. It is a big day for the city of Fort Pierce, and it is a big day for our community. It is hard to believe that more than 2 years ago, this was just an empty field, just a field of potential, of what it could be. Then, after countless hours of analysis, meticulous planning, engineering, permitting, construction began. What followed was months of building, inspections, testing, and more inspections. What you see around you today is the culmination of that tireless effort, hard work, and flawless execution by the FPUA management and its partners. For that, I want to take a moment to recognize the staff and the contractors who, without their commitment and dedication, would not have made this vision a reality or brought us here together at this moment. So will you please give a warm applause of well done. Fort Pierce is my home. I'm a fifth-generation resident. I was born here in 1975. And for as long as I can remember, that Hutchinson Island treatment plant has always been a fixture on our landscape. When that site is ultimately decommissioned, as it will be in due time, it opens up the door to new possibilities. Perhaps the property can be used for a better use, generating tax revenue for our city to support as many services and programs that our residents rely upon. That will be a discussion at a different time. I'm proud to stand here today as an FPUA board member and share this moment with our community. When I joined the board about 7 years ago, I had one goal in mind: to help accomplish at least one meaningful act from which future generations would reap lasting benefits. Today, with the assistance and dedication of so many others, that goal is nearly realized. I am so proud of the work the organization has been able to achieve over the last several years. I've watched and supported the staff of the UA as it transitioned into a faster, stronger, more responsive, and modern FPUA. And today I am proud of the work this facility represents. It is a state-of-the-art facility with new technologies, and perhaps it is the crown jewel of the USA. In 2022, the FPUA board's direction to staff was clear: let's get the job done. But because the FPUA is made up of exceptionally bright, committed individuals, they heard something more. They heard do the job right, do it efficiently, and do it ethically, and do it in a way that positions the FPUA for the future, both for our community and for the customers we proudly serve. I am proud of the FPUA team and thankful for our partners who have supported this project. With the support of our representatives, both at the state and federal levels, working in tandem with the FPUA management. We have delivered this facility on time, and I'm told on budget, and a level of transparency we could not have imagined. The utility is genuinely community proud. We provide 5 utility services and are equally proud of them all. I'm amazed how a staff of over 300 persons can pull it all together and serve the community that we do. Today's event represents our ongoing commitment not only to providing these services, but also to modernizing, expanding, and serving our community with economical, reliable, and friendly service. Thank you for your trust and confidence in us. Thank you again for being here today, and I hope you enjoyed this beautiful, dare I say, expensive facility. Thank you.
Before I begin, I would like to say thank you to the City of Fort Pierce Commission. All of you are here, and I really appreciate that. I know you know how important this day is, and you show it by your presence. I think the FPUA board with which I serve, thank you so much. It's one of the best boards that I serve on. It's engaged, it's serious. And also, before I begin, I just want to say that in my next life, I want to be an engineer, because they have had the most fun on this project. They understand it, and it's a great bunch of people to work with. So the City of Fort Pierce is celebrating its 125th birthday this year. And so in 1901, when they resolved to form the City of Fort Pierce, they had to struggle with electric and wastewater and water services. And then Fort Pierce boomed in the 1920s, and then Fort Pierce went bust, just like Florida did in the 1920s, and we had the Great Depression upon us. So then we fast forward to World War II. The Navy comes to Fort Pierce. They're on the island, and they encounter mosquitoes and no-see-ums, both of which we're very familiar. And after all, we used to be called Mosquito County, and we were known for the mosquitoes. And as an aside, a Fort Pierce pioneer named Will Fee was instrumental in reducing the mosquito population and mosquito treatment, and he is to be honored for that, because with that feat and also with air conditioning, Florida became the place to be, and Fort Pierce along with it. So when the Navy left, they left the remnants of their very crude sewer facilities. And the city of Fort Pierce inherited that. And so the city said, well, that's a good place for it. Nobody will ever live there. So they put the wastewater treatment plant on the island. So now we know that that is something that we want not to see happen again and anymore. And the state of Florida helped us along, because the state said you need to bring the current plant up to a certain level, and that was going to cost millions of dollars. And we said, this is the time to move. This is the time. We're not spending the money on the current plant. We're going to build the new plant. So, and we embarked on that, and our ratepayers are paying for it, and along with our state and federal partners, and that includes Congressman Mast, Governor DeSantis, Senator Grahl, Senator Harold, Representative Trabulsi, Representative Overdorf, and many, many more. So by moving the island facility, we're removing any potential environmental damage to the lagoon. And the lagoon, you should know, generates $28.3 billion every year, $17 billion in direct spending in local businesses, $5.8 billion in indirect economic activity, and $4 billion in induced economic impacts. The lagoon supports 128,000 jobs and $8.3 billion in wages annually. Clean water and a healthy lagoon support wildlife, protect human health, attract new coastal businesses, and influence coastal workforce attraction and retention. The health of our waterways is vital to our regional economy. The Fort Pierce Inlet closed in 1911, and it took 10 years to dig the current man-made inlet. And we celebrated the 100th anniversary of that inlet in 2021. So now, moving the wastewater treatment plant off the lagoon to this new facility that is now going to cool the adjacent power plant with reuse water so that we don't take water from the aquifer is perhaps our biggest environmental and economic achievement since opening the inlet 100 years ago. So the current plant site will not be demolished yet. Its location on the lagoon is one of the most beautiful spots along Florida's East Coast. The citizens of Fort Pierce will help direct the future use of that property in the coming years. I, for one, would like to see it preserved for the use of our 50,000 Fort Pierce residents and the many visitors that we welcome every year. So Fort Pierce is all about the water, the Atlantic Ocean, the Fort Pierce Inlet, the Indian River Lagoon, Taylor Creek, Moores Creek, the St. Lucie River. All must be treated with the utmost respect. Keeping them clean contributes to our personal health and safety and is the lifeblood of our economy. So this is a great day for One Fort Pierce. Thank you.
Good morning. It's really great to see everybody here today. This has been a great presentation, and I think that Senator Grawl and I are the only thing between you and your tours today. So thank you for indulging us and showing up and supporting FPUA and our community. I've been a resident of St. Lucie County for 35 years, and when I moved to St. Lucie County, I remember going over the Seaway Bridge and looking at the wastewater treatment plant and saying, why is this here? We live in paradise, and why is this here? And then as time went on and I learned more about the lagoon and how fragile our environment is and deep well injections, and that the lagoon is the nursery for all the animals that are bred into the Atlantic Ocean. I would drive over Seaway Bridge and I had a different thought, but I was still saying the same thing. Why is this wastewater treatment plant here? And just a few years ago, Senator Grawl and I sat with Rachel and Javi and Bo, and they laid out their proposal of this. And then they said, you know, these first two phases we think are going to cost about $100 million. And we took a big deep breath and said, can you do that? And they said, not only can we do that, but we will do that. And we will do it on time, and we will do it within budget. And they have kept all of their promises and even more, because quite frequently we get updates on their progress. When you come to Tallahassee, you are a true advocate throughout the Capitol on what's important to you. Mayor, you as well. We appreciate you coming as well. It's really important when you're asking the state for money to come and advocate for yourself, and you do that. This wastewater treatment plant is not only going to eventually give us the beautiful piece of the island back, but it's also going to be a model for other communities to look at. You have been great stewards of this money, and you have created a great legacy, and our lagoon and our community are better for it, and I thank you.
Thank you, Rachel, and thank you for the opportunity to be here today for this incredible celebration. Representative Trabolsi said a couple of the things that I was going to talk about, and one of them is about that first meeting that we had. It was shortly after I was elected to the Senate in 2022, and what I learned very quickly in the House is that a lot of people ask for money from the state. So you hear a lot of pitches about why the state should get involved, why there should be an appropriations project, why you should sponsor it. And so I found very quickly when I was elected, I had to come up with some criteria so that I was comfortable with whatever I was advocating for, whatever I was putting my name on in Tallahassee. And it was clear, and I didn't file very many appropriations projects when I was in the House, but you just heard I have 5 counties now. It was clear the team had done their homework in a way that they were ready for every single question. And the number was big. It was a huge number, but it was so incredible to me that they had the foresight to go out and get the bonding, to make sure that they had the initial funding, the funding that could really get them to a place where where you see something, where it's visible, where the project is going to happen and it's going to be sustainable, and the money will follow because they believed in it. They believed in it not just from that place of hope, but this sense of professionalism, the integrity, the planning, just the team was so impressive. And it's because of that, like Representative Trabolsi said, they have become a model throughout the state. It's not debatable whether or not we want a wastewater treatment facility on the lagoon. I mean, we spend so much money on water projects to clean water that this is the type of project that shows other communities how it can be done. Not only are we going to be cleaning water, we're going to have the foresight to do those things that are impacting the water the most and get them away from the water. And that's not just our lagoon. This water issue exists throughout Florida as the population increases. And so it's exciting to be from a community where we are on the forefront of this. The energy and enthusiasm among the employees at FPUA is contagious. And I think it just speaks to the culture that has been built here of success, creativity, and like Mayor Hudson said, I get it. The engineering part, engineering or finance, that's what I might come back, because there's a whole lot of things in there that are really important in the way in which we learn and move through the world and participate. And our engineers have such ability to really change the way that things are done because of the unique way that their brains work. And I appreciate that there's been the room for that at FPUA and what this is going to do for the community. And so we look forward to continuing to be supportive, and we will again this year in order to make sure that the ratepayers don't have to bear the full brunt of these projects, because there really is a state impact. And that's what it always has to come back to when we're advocating for dollars in Tallahassee is what's the connection to the state? Well, the connection to the state is all of the economic benefits that you just heard. The connection to the state is the overall health of the state and our citizens and those visitors, and making this a positive place for visitors to come. And so I appreciate everything that Javi, you and your team have done, and all of the hard questions that you have answered for me along the way, and what you are doing to be a model for the state of Florida.
Thank you, Rachel. I want to take a moment to say thank you to Rachel for being our MC and the quarterback for today's event. A job very well done. I want to talk a little bit about what Rachel was talking about. Our in-house grants team has been changing the game with grants. They have been awarded, again, over $75 million in grants towards this project alone. It's just amazing. Please help me give Rachel and her team a round of applause. So these grants have already impacted our customers today, but just as importantly, it will impact future generations to come. Again, thank you to the Public Affairs and Grants team. Thank you to all the speakers for your encouraging words today. I want to thank everyone in the audience that's made this project a reality. Your support has been absolutely tremendous. It takes a strong team to get this project done, a project like this to get it done. And I'm proud to be part of the amazing group here at FPUA. I want to recognize 2 individuals. The first is Mike Martin. You heard him say earlier that it was a privilege to be part of this project, and I agree, but I also think it's a privilege to have him on our team because he is the right man for the job. Next, I want to recognize Bo Hutchinson. You heard from Joe that strong and effective decision-making was an important part of this project. Bo's mentality to have Plan A and Plan B move at the same speed is the reason this project is on budget and on time. So thank you to Mike and thank you to Bo. I want to thank all of our supporters for this project, the FPUA Board, City Commissioners, City Hall, and our friends in Tallahassee and Washington. I want to take a moment to give a very special thank you to our amazing Tallahassee officials. Dana Trabolsi and Aaron Grawl, you just heard from them, have been very supportive of this project, but just as importantly, they're very supportive of Fort Pierce and our community. So thank you for everything that you do. So today is a historic moment, but I want to go back in time for just a few minutes. In the early 2000s, FPUA made two impactful decisions. The first was to decommission the diesel-powered HD King power plant. The result of that decision can be seen when you walk out these doors. You will see an award-winning 300 megawatt natural gas combined cycle power plant that provides power to 33 municipal utilities throughout the state of Florida. The Florida Municipal Agency was able to commission this plant in 2008. In that same year, the King plant was decommissioned, and we are excited about the future of that property in our historic downtown. The second decision was to relocate the Island plant. Yes, I'm talking about this plant, the Island plant. That conversation started in the early 2000s. The board and leadership team attempted twice, but unfortunately the timing was not right. We did not lose foresight of the ultimate goal, and over the past 20 years, the engineering teams have been strategically building force mains to ultimately go in the opposite direction. Even though this helps reduce the financial and logistical path to decommissioning the existing island site, Mr. Dawson and his team have a lot of work ahead, but rest assured we can count on him to get it done. No pressure to Mr. Dawson. As you can see, this project has been weaving in and out for decades, but in 2022, the stars aligned for a green light, and the teams went to work, and today we celebrated in proper fashion. As I look into the audience today, I see amazing legacy of FPUA, too many to name. I did plan on mentioning a couple of names, but I want to highlight just a few. I see Mr. John Tompick, retired DOU, that helped calm the seas and navigate us through leadership changes in the COVID years. I see Mr. Bill Teese, retired Director of Utilities, who was instrumental in getting this whole ball rolling and a major part of the reason we are here today. He was actually solely responsible for hiring a majority of the leadership team that you see in front of you today, to include myself. I guess there must be something magical in the amazing FPUA award-winning best tasting drinking water. I'll close with one last note. I want to recognize one incredible man. Mr. Rupert Corbegard was FPUA's attorney for nearly 27 years. I was fortunate enough to work with him for 23 of those years. I was 25 years old when I attended my first meeting with Mr. Corbegard. It was my first, really, any kind of professional meeting ever, and especially with an attorney, so I wanted to be well prepared to discuss my item that needed to go to the board, and it has to get attorney approval. I made sure that I was well dressed and I had my notes ready. I indeed was well dressed for any 25-year-old in the early 2000s, but I can't remember a time that I stuttered more than I did that day. Thankfully, Kobe was a gentle soul with a kind heart. He treated everyone with respect, and that included me on that day. Mr. Corbegard kept a low profile, and he was very involved in making decisions behind the scenes, including decommissioning the King plant, building the power plant next door, and this project. One of Mr. Corbegard's career goals was to see this plant to completion, but unfortunately, we did not move fast enough. The control room is the brain of this plant. It sees everything at once. To honor Mr. Corbegard, the control room will be named in his honor. Anyone and everyone that walks into that room will walk by his name as they enter the brains of the operation. Thank you to his family and friends for being here today. I know he's smiling down on us. I'm proud of this moment. This facility represents the best of FPUA, past and present. It stands as a tribute to those who believed in it long before it became a reality, and to those who carried the vision forward every step of the way. With that, I'm excited to hand it back to Rachel as we continue with today's program. Thank you very much.